Okay, so I'm having a look at who's being hit basically over the coming month or two and the relative influences of each planet. It's a general on-the-spot summary of where we are, and this is mid-November 2014, somewhere around the, I don't know, 14th, 15th, I'm not even sure. Okay, the big picture is obviously the ongoing square between Uranus and Pluto, which is now coming back into definition again. During December, the geocentric position of Uranus squaring Pluto will be very strong indeed. From an Earth-based perspective, we will see the square between these two planets as being really strong, and this is like the final big pass. There will be one more brief one in March of next year. Heliocentrically, from a Sun-based perspective, the square has long passed. Much of the Grand Cross pattern of 2014 and subsequent eclipses and related phenomena have served to really amplify the Uranus-Pluto square in 2014 and created a lot of very changeable patterns and actions. Because the Uranus-Pluto square over the month of December, whilst it's actually really strong, is not being aspected by other planets significantly, and because it's past maximum strength heliocentrically, I think that the effects of this are not going to be brand new. There's no new major world conflagration, there's no major disaster or anything like this coming up. But what is going to be coming up is a lot of baggage associated with ongoing phenomena, ongoing crises, ongoing wars, battles. So, you know, it's not, we're not going to suddenly get peaceful resolutions to what's going on in Eastern Europe or the Middle East or elsewhere in the world. Certain places are very noticeable by how quiet they are, which in itself is worrying. Of course, the political changes that the Uranus-Pluto square indicate are likely to manifest during December, and I suspect the emphasis of the news as we move towards the end of the year is going to switch more towards politics on all sides of the world as well. And yeah, I get the impression that mid-December is going to be quite an interesting time as Saturn moves sign into Sagittarius, and Saturn starts bringing a degree of structure and boundary into notions of truth and transparency. Believe me, Saturn in Sagittarius over the next 2 or 3 years is going to be doing a big mop up, and he's going to be brutal when it comes to bringing all the stuff to the surface. He's going to make all the hypocrisy disappear. I am so looking forward to Saturn in Sagittarius. I'm not worried by the Jupiter in Leo ongoing. He's reached his peak. He's now about to go backwards. Jupiter in Leo, when he's active and dynamic, is great because he's fun-loving, he's noble, generous, big-hearted, loyal, and the best friend you could have. But he also gets a bit ostentatious, over-bloated, full of himself, arrogant and conceited. And over recent weeks, Jupiter's movement through Leo, slowing down to the point of station, has created a number of larger-than-life situations for people being affected by Jupiter at this time. So I'm quite glad to see him going retrograde for 3 or 4 months now, through to, well, at least March, April time. And over the Northern Hemisphere winter, Southern Hemisphere summer, I'm not seeing any sign of further over-expansiveness. The current ongoing situations aren't likely to develop into something majorly problematical. It won't be able to happen. At the time of recording, a number of my predictions about certain political figures or establishment figures not being around seems to have not been true. So I'll live with that one. You can't get them all right, but I don't think the genie's out of the bottle fully yet on this, and I won't be happy until the Grand Cross pattern has completely finished, which, well, bearing in mind the conjunction of Mars and Uranus at the start of March, followed by the total eclipse of the moon at 14 degrees of Libra, 15 degrees of Libra at the start of April. That to me is the finale, the ultimate finale of this pattern. By then, we'll be looking at a period of long-term stability. But the big picture, really, December's going to be contentious. And with Saturn moving into Sagittarius at the same time as the strong Uranus-Pluto square, we're going to see a lot of colours being nailed to the mast. We're going to see people having to come down on one side or the other. And fence sitting time. It's over. Catch you later.